South African racism versus American racism. Look, guys, since I've been here in South Africa, me personally, I have not experienced any racism while being here. Uh, I'm really trying to think that I haven't come across any type of racism. Nobody has been racist to me. The only thing y'all already know. Y'all already know. I ain't gonna say it every video, but y'all already know. But a lot of you guys saying they're trolls, things like that about leaving and things like that. But other than that, man, I have not received any type of racism while being in South Africa. America, on the other hand, I've had my fair share of I felt like discriminative moments. Discriminative moments, y'all. Um, I'm gonna tell a quick story before we get into the video that we're gonna check out. But I used to play basketball for my high school team, and our basketball game was very very far away. It was actually in a racist town. Actually, they had no black people, no like it was very racist town. Even the coach was like, everybody needs to stay together because, yeah, yeah. So after leaving that game, it was so far away, so we didn't get home until late at night, right? So I drove back and forth to school like every morning, every day. You know what I'm saying? So once the bus dropped us off back at school, I put my stuff in my locker and everything like that, um, and I was driving home. While I was driving home, there was a cop that starts following me. He's following me. He's following me. He's following me. I'm talking. It's like lights later. Red light. Red light. Red. He's still following me. He's still following me. Right. Pull into my neighborhood. I'm like, surely he's gonna keep going. Follows me into my neighborhood, y'all. He then turns his lights on. Once I get into my neighborhood, he turns his lights on. Follows me into my driveway with his lights on. So like at this point, I don't know what to do. I'm kind of scared. I'm not gonna lie, cause like why is the cop follow me that long and follow me all the way into my driveway into my place? You know what I'm saying? He could have pulled me over a long time ago, but decided to pull me over once I got into my driveway. So I get out the car. I get my duffel bag out the back seat. I'm walking to the front door or whatever. He shines his light. He's like, "Sir, I'm gonna need you to get away from the door. I'm gonna need you to get." I'm like, "What do you? This is my house. This is my home. What do you mean?" He's like, "I'm gonna need you to step away from." Like then he started getting louder. "I'm gonna need you to step away from the front door." Mind you, he's all up in my driveway, all up in my space. You feel me? So I'm like, bruh, like, what is going on? So I'm like, what did I do? What are you talking about? What am this is my house. I just came home from my basketball game. So I didn't actually, no, I didn't say that yet. I go up to him because like I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want no conflict or whatever. He's like, "Can I ask you why are you out so late? Why are you coming home so late?" Then I explained to him we had a basketball game that was like super super far away, and I'm just now getting home. He was like, "Okay, I'm gonna need to see your driver's license to make sure you live here." I'm like, "Bruh, you're lying, bro." He said, "I need to see a driver's license to make sure you live here." So I showed the guy my driver's license. He was like, "All right, you're good to go." I'm like, "Bro, there's no way that this happens, dog. There's no way that this happens." So yeah, I feel like that moment right there was it was off-putting for me, man, because I just feel like if I was doing something wrong, he had all that time to pull me over. But he waited till I got into my neighborhood, into my driveway to pull me over, which was insane, y'all. Insane. But yeah, other than that, there's been other instances in the US as well. There's been other instances in the US. But as far as here in South Africa, off the top of my head right now, I can't think of a moment. I can't think of a moment that I experienced any type of racism or or anything like that. There isn't any, man. So, but I'm gonna get into this video. This is Trevor Noah speaking about South African racism and American racism, man. If y'all new here, smash that sub button. Like the video for your boy. Let's check it out.
Is there anything before we move on? Anything you want to chat about? Anything on your mind? It's the fun part of a live show. Yes.
What's the difference between racism in South Africa and racism in America?
Oh, I love that.
That is a really, I don't know who asked that question. That's actually a really good question. What's the difference between racism in South Africa and racism in
I love how
America?
you ask such a deep question in such a bubbly way.
Right?
Because your tone of voice was really fun. So what's the difference between... Because there, I thought you were going to say, like, oh, the difference between, like, summer and spring for you. You're like, what's the difference between racism in South Africa and racism in the USA? Almost like my favorite topic.
Nah, she was real bubbly,
I'll
though.
tell you what, I think the biggest difference between racism in America and racism in South Africa is I find that South African racism is and was a lot more blatant. And so there's more of an acknowledgement of it as an idea. And I always say to people, I know it's strange to say this, but I often think that was the greatest gift the apartheid government gave us, is that it was like, it was there, it was happening to you, it wasn't hidden. Do you know what I mean? So you were just like, we don't want this. People would fight, stop this apartheid, it's racism. And then,
Actually, you know what's crazy, man? I feel like maybe like the newer racism like in America is hidden. Like it's more like, you know, it's subliminal or it's hidden or it's, you know what I'm saying? It's not forward. But back in the day, man, I remember staying with my aunt. Y'all know like when you're kids, when all your cousins come in from town and it's maybe Thanksgiving or it's the weekend and y'all all sleeping over it was my aunt, but she was like my grandma. You know what I'm saying? You know how y'all make the huge pallets on the floor. Y'all know, right? So she used to tell us stories of her and my uncle, man, how they were used to be segregated. Like it was just black schools and white schools. And it's crazy how that was not so long ago. Like my auntie is still alive, you know what I'm saying? And that was happening to her as a kid. You feel me? But there was a time where the white bus would pass up the black bus, right? And then the white school kids would start throwing rocks at the black school bus. She was like, yo, we'd experienced so much of what we see on TV as far as like segregation. Like she was like, it was real. Like it was legit. Like there was real hate towards her school buses, her peoples, you know what I'm saying? The color community or the black people community, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro.
government will be like, yes, of course it is racism. That's what we're doing to you. The blacks must not do this. But then what happened in America is, you know, you hit that period where like they started changing things. I don't know if it was around Nixon, and they were like, oh, we've got to be silent about this. And then it wasn't blatant anymore. And
Look at all the people in the crowd. This must have been during COVID. Y'all see everybody with masks on?
so I always thought that's a terrible thing to do to people, because now people have to be like detectives of their own racism. They have to figure it out. You know what I mean? So let me give you an example. In
They
South
gotta be
Africa, the
creative
government
with
would
it.
just say, blacks cannot live in these areas. You're black, you don't live here. Now you know I'm black, I don't live here. I don't like it, but I don't live here. You get what I'm saying? But then in America, you'd be like, can I get a home loan? And they'd be like, no. And you'd be like,
That's
why?
true.
And they'd be like, no. They'd be like, why can't I? And then you just,
But I kind of disagree. I feel like it depends on the area, like where you grew up in the States. Because there's some areas like where you know like it's like a white only area or a black only area for black people, or white, you know what I'm saying? The white only restaurants or black only restaurants, white only water fountain, black only, white schools, black schools. So segregation was a thing like that everybody knew about. It wasn't like nobody was hiding the segregation. Like everybody knew about the segregation, bro. Everybody knew about the segregation, and everybody knew not to go to that neighborhood at a certain time. They called it after what do they call it, man? I think it's called after dark something area. I forgot what they call it, man, but you just know not to go to that neighborhood past a certain time, or you know what I'm saying, you ain't coming back. You ain't coming back, bro.
start realizing, you're like, wow, how come the black people all seem to only be able to get houses in these areas, but not in these areas? And these school districts are better. How come the money is going?
Gentrification.
How come? And you get what I'm saying? And I know it sounds strange to say, but I think there's something liberating about fighting an obvious enemy as opposed to one that you have to prove exists. That's probably the biggest difference. between America
Okay.
and- yeah.
But I do agree with that, though. I do agree with that. That, like, a lot of times, a lot of white people, you can't prove that they racist, but you just know. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's easier for them to deny their racism. You feel me? But you know deep down.
And can I just say, what is your name?
Katrina.
Katrina, you should be a debate moderator in this country. Because the way you snuck that question in was so chill. You would throw politicians off the, what are you? You're a teacher. Aha! You see,
Shout out to her though.
Yeah, no, politicians wouldn't see you coming, you know? You just be like, so let's talk about all of the campaign finance fraud and how you stole that money.
But yeah, y'all, racism in the big 2025 is crazy. It's crazy that we still have, you know what I'm saying, racism today. In the big 2025. Like, at this point, I feel like it's gonna have to come down to aliens coming or something. Like, there has to be something for us all to band together to fight against that something. For us to forget about racism. Until then, I feel like it's always gonna be us fighting amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What do you guys think? And if you guys have been to the U.S. and experienced racism, comment it down below. If you experience racism here in South Africa, what happened? Me personally, like I said, off the top of my head, man, there hasn't been an instance or felt like anything. Like maybe because it hasn't been anything as big as what I've experienced in the U.S., so I just kind of overlooked it. But I haven't experienced it, man. I haven't experienced it. I think it's a very well, the U.S. is a very diverse country as well. So I don't know, man. Except for the U.S. is very predominantly white, like mostly white people. But there are diverse cultures there. I mean, you'll find Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Asians, Hispanics. You know, all different types of races. Black people, mixed people. You know, Blasians. There's all types of races in the U.S. So even there's different there's Nigerians there. There's also South Africans there. I used to work with someone from Congo. You know what I'm saying? There's people from Ethiopia, Somalia. So there's a lot of different races in America. But as far as racism goes, I mean, I feel like it's something that is just there. We're just gonna have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gotten better, a lot better, but I think it'll take a long time to get where it needs to be. Maybe, like I said, when the aliens come, we fighting against aliens or something. I don't know. But let me know y'all thoughts, man. Appreciate the love that y'all showing on the channel. I'm trying to bring different topics to y'all, different talking points, things we can discuss, and maybe learn something together. Because when it comes to South African, apartheid, I've learned a bit about it from reacting to it in the past. But I feel like there's always something new that's gonna come up that I didn't know about, because I didn't grow up here. But I feel like these are dope topics that we've been talking about. I've been thinking about talking about my dating life in South Africa. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. Let me know if that's a topic that you guys want to speak about in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoy my reaction, my commentary. If you did, smash the like, subscribe, and stay tuned.